Asians men haircut tier list. I feel like a lot of Asian men out there have tried many different hairstyles. I mean, I'm talking from the buzz cut, the bowl cut, to getting perms. So I'm just gonna be ranking every single hairstyle out there for Asians. All right, so as you guys can see, we have the S tier. This is the elite Kevin Nguyen tier. You're gonna be getting all the ABGs if you have this haircut. Next up, we have the A tier, which is pretty tough. It looks very solid. You're like halfway there to being an elite Kevin Nguyen. Then we have B, which is solid. C is mid. D is just straight up trash, okay? Now, first up, we got the buzz cut, okay? I think that this is a canon event for every single Asian man out there. You would go to the barber shop and, you know, a lot of the times your parents would be the ones choosing what you get for your haircut. I remember back in the day, my dad would walk in to the barber shop with me and he would say jalke, which if you don't know what that means very short in Korean. And every time I walked out of the barbershop, I was basically gonna cry because of how trash it looked. That's why I'm putting this in the D tier. It sucks. If you get a buzz cut as an Asian man, you're most likely not going to rock it because a lot of Asian men, we have those round faces. We don't have those defined facial features. And the only Asians that do rock the buzz cut, they're basically models and they can rock any other hairstyle. So there's no point in choosing a buzz cut because it's not going to look as good as the other hairstyles. The buzz cut has just given me too much trauma to think about. So let's just move on to the next one. We have the middle part. The middle part is undeniably going to go into the elite Kevin Nguyen tier. If you think about the top tier Kevin Nguyen's, about half of them, they have the middle part. The other half we'll get into later, but most of the Kevin Nguyen's are rocking the middle part, and for a good reason. A lot of these ABGs, they're attracted towards the middle part. And for a good reason. It looks pretty good. The only issue is if you have Asian, pin straight hair, then I feel like the middle part looks pretty trash. It looks pretty ugly. You're going to be looking like Bling Boy from Johnny Test. So if you don't want to look cooked, just get a perm and you'll probably look fine with the middle part. Most guys can rock this. One of the other downsides too though is that if you have a big forehead, it kind of exposes your forehead completely. But you can still do the middle part. You just need to cover most of your forehead when you're parting it down the middle. Next we have the bleached buzz. The bleached buzz is definitely a step up from the buzz because I mean it just looks cool. It looks cool when it grows out because you have the black strands and then it has the bleached tips once it grows out. I'm gonna put it in solid for that reason, but the one thing is that it's pretty polarizing. So obviously as a guy, we get these haircuts to impress other people, whether that be women or maybe if you swing the other way, then you're trying to pull men. But the one thing about the bleached buzz is that it's pretty polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I'm personally on the side that loves it. I personally wouldn't get it because I don't think I would rock it, but it looks pretty decent. Maybe if it wasn't so polarizing, I'll put it in A tier, but because it is pretty polarizing, I'll put it in B tier for now. Okay, next up is the other canon event for Asians. It's either the buzz cut or the bowl cut. Or both for Asians. The bowl cut is definitely worse than the buzz cut because I don't think a single person in the world can rock a bowl cut. But there's actually people out there that can rock the buzz cut. For that reason, I'm gonna put it in the D tier and it's definitely gonna be below the buzz cut. It's just a terrible haircut. Like why would you walk into the barber shop, ask for them to put a bowl on top of your head, and then just cut the sides and the back really short and keep the top super long? It looks so bad. There's no texture, no volume. You're just gonna be looking cooked. Personally, I've only gotten the bowl cut once in my life. The other times were a buzz cut, but both were pretty traumatic anyways. So next we have a simple taper or a fade on the sides and the back. This is pretty good. I'll put this in the tough tier. The reason this is going A tier is that I'm pretty sure that every Asian guy out there can rock a taper or a fade. Like you just can't go wrong. And then there's also versatility because you can do whatever you want with the top. I mean, there's not really much I can say. By the way, if you couldn't tell, most of these pictures are pictures of me because I've tried a lot of hairstyles. The only one I haven't tried so far is the one right here in B tier. That's the bleached buzz. But anyways, the next one we have is the super curly perm. If you have an Asian friend group, I think we all know that one guy in the friend group that tried getting a perm and they just got it way too curly. They started looking like a Korean ajumma. It just looks really bad. Their hair just looks like a bunch of noodles. I still do think though that this might be a little bit better than the buzz cut. Yeah, I'll put it in mid. I'll put it in mid because there actually is a decent amount of people that can rock it, but me personally, I look super goofy with the curly hair. Next, we have the classic Korean two block. This is basically when the sides and the back are shorter and the top is a bit longer and it's pretty messy in the front. I would say this is definitely S tier, elite Kevin Nguyen. If you think about Kevin Nguyen's, right? Half of them have the middle part, the other half have this cut, the two block. And for a good reason. It's just so versatile. And actually the middle part and the two block are pretty similar because the only difference really is the way you style your hair. If you have a two block, you can also have a middle part just by styling it a bit differently and vice versa. I like the classic two block a bit more because if you have a big forehead, it can cover that. And I do have a 5 head, so it does help me conceal that big forehead of mine. So yeah, if you get this haircut, you're probably pulling all the ABGs. Next, we have the textured fringe. The textured fringe is pretty solid. I'm gonna put it one step above the bleached buzz. The one reason I'm not gonna put this in A tier is that it just doesn't look the greatest on Asians, in my opinion. I think that this haircut looks better on Caucasian people, not Asian people. So for that reason, I'm not gonna put it in A tier. Also, I feel like a lot of people have this haircut and it's just so boring when everyone has the same exact haircut. Next, we have the comb over. Honestly, the comb over is my least favorite haircut. It is just so ugly. I'm gonna make this a tier of its own. Let's make a new tier. We're gonna call it Never Get This Haircut. F tier. And one of my friends always rocks the comb over. He always has the comb over. And we always tell him every single year, get a new haircut, please. I haven't seen him in a couple months though, so maybe he switched it up. But yeah, before that, he was rocking the comb over all the time. It just looks so ugly, right? Like, I get it if you're about to do a comb over because you have an interview coming up or something. But other than that, why are you pulling up to a function with the comb over? Like, at this point, you're scaring away the ABGs. Like, you're embarrassing the group, okay? Especially when they put on some hair gel. It just looks so disgusting. Like, we're in 2024. There are many other haircuts on this list that you could be doing and you would look so much better. So why are you nerfing yourself? All right, so the last haircut we have on this tier list is the overgrown cut. This is like an overgrown perm or whatever. It's just basically when your hair is super long. You can have like a mullet, a wolf cut, anything like that. I would say that this goes A tier, and it's probably a bit better than the fade in my opinion. This really is almost at that level of the elite Kevin Nguyen tier. I think that there is actually a small percentage of those elite Kevin Nguyen's that are rocking the overgrown cut. And for a good reason. Like, this hairstyle just sort of gives you that aura. Like, if it fits your vibe, you're just gonna rock it and you're gonna be getting most of the ABGs anyways. I sort of have this haircut right now. Like, the hair in my back, it's super long. And the one issue about this haircut is it's just so messy and it's really annoying. Like, when your hair starts growing out and it touches your ears and it's getting all up on your neck, it feels really annoying. But other than that, it's a pretty good hairstyle. You just want to make sure that the style is intentional. You don't want to have some areas that look really overgrown and then other areas it's a bit uneven, right? Because then you're just going to look homeless at that point. So if you do want to have this hairstyle, you definitely need to go to a salon so that they can shape the hair correctly. All right, so that's the Asian men's haircut tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow me on Instagram at choice.yt. Follow me on TikTok at choiceplug, and peace.